Hello there and welcome to The Wandering Wolf. I'm your host, Mark Rhodes, and as always with me is my friend and fellow Wolves lifer, Mr. Craig Forward. How are you, mate?
Everybody, good to see you. Yeah, I'm
You
doing all
too.
right. I'm doing all right.
Good,
very
good.
excited for this one tonight.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because tonight's guest has done many things.
I'm getting a name.
You're getting a name in his career. He's worked over 30 years as an actor, comedian. He's been in shows such as The Fast Show, The 11 O'Clock Show, that Peter Kay thing, amongst lots of others. But my favourite is his appearance in Phoenix Nights as Mr. Clinton Baptiste. It's Alex Lowe. How are you, sir?
Oh, great. Thanks. So nice to be on there. Delighted to be asked. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, mate. And I know a lot of people will be saying, like seeing you do Clinton Baptiste, hearing you speak like you do. Like, we're quite surprised. I'm not going to lie. It just shows how good of an actor you are, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Northwest London, not Northwest England. But it's it's an odd one, that. And I remember when we did Phoenix Nights live in, God, honestly, 6 years ago now. It's unbelievable.
Wow, really?
And I'm always the only Southerner in there. And for some reason, I remember I had something wrong with my ears that winter. And I couldn't understand a thing anyone was saying. I couldn't hear them very well. We were always sort of at Manchester Arena. We remember sort of sitting around the canteen. And there's all this kind of chit-chat going on. And I was like, sorry, can you just slow down and just tell me what you just said? I'm from Pinner, which couldn't be any more sort of southeast England. You know, it's kind of suburban and middle classy. It's not remotely Bolton in any way.
So it was yourself and you stuck with Steve then? We had Steve Edge on the other day having a chat to us about the Wolves and things. So it would be sort of you and him against the Northern contingent.
100%.
Yeah, Steve. I mean, he's a great mate of mine, Steve, and I see him. Well, we often, do you know what? We often correspond during Wolves matches on the text.
Yeah.
But mostly when it's bad news. And so I said to him recently.
So quite often then.
Yeah, just recently, and I've been sort of saying it might be really nice to actually have a conversation or text when something good is happening. But I kind of seek solace in him, you know, if it's going badly.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, we're the same. Me and Craig, we do a review of the games, and recently it's not been great, has it, mate, to be honest?
No, I'm really a bit fed up with this season now. And, we're recording this just after last night against Liverpool.
No. Yeah.
It was really. I mean, you know, I've seen us play a lot worse than that.
Oh yeah,
we had the chances, but there's no one to score any bloody goals.
I know that's the issue, isn't it? That's the issue, isn't it? We're great in defence, we're great in midfield, but then the ball goes into the box and we can't put it away, unfortunately, which is a real issue, unfortunately. But Alex, before we move on to Wolves, I wanted to chat about your illustrious career, because you've worked in radio, you've worked in theatre, you've worked in TV. Can you not hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry, I'm having a right old...
Keep going.
Yeah, you've worked in radio, theatre and TV. Which one do you prefer, mate?
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, a film... you get paid more, but also it looks fantastic. It's sort of there forever. It normally comes with a beautiful soundtrack in some way. But I like them for different things, really. I mean, honestly, this sounds like I'm just, false modesty or something, but I'm so delighted to be an actor for a living. I was not really brought up with any of that. My parents are like lower middle class people. They went to work at 9, they came back at 5, they finished at 5. So honestly, the truth is I've spent my entire career looking over my shoulder thinking that any moment I am going to have to stop this nonsense and get a proper job. Yeah. So genuinely, I'm just so delighted if anyone asks me to do radio, TV, theatre.
Yeah.
but I mean, I suppose really the theatre, particularly like touring Clinton Baptiste, it's so thrilling that people have turned up to see you, and there's really no substitution for the palms sweating, standing in the wings, thinking, I'm absolutely bricking this.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for it to finish. And I'm like 53 now, and I keep thinking, why do I put myself through it? Because it's kind of nice when it's done. You think, oh God, and you can go out and have a little drinky and get back to the hotel or something. But
it's nothing like the adrenaline rush, is there? Because I do a lot of TV myself, and it's just the best feeling in the world, isn't it? It's like, what would you say that your career highlight has been then? I know it's tricky because you have worked in the industry for 30 years, but can you pinpoint one moment where you think, oh, this is amazing?
Well, I mean, honestly, when I first started, I used to be Kenneth Branagh's stand-in, and so I was in his films, and then he would give me parts in his films. So in my first 4 years of being an actor, I did like 4 feature films.
Wow.
And it was then I thought, this is fantastic. And of course, as you know, there's no kind of rhyme nor reason to any of it. There's no career progression. And it sort of stopped and just nothing happened. So that was kind of great when it started, and never quite the same since. But honestly, doing the Clinton Baptiste stuff is so thrilling to go around the country, and people really respond to it. I'm not an idiot. It's mainly because they loved Phoenix Nights, and they love Peter Kay and all that. But that's why it was such a choker when the COVID just absolutely, it was virtually halfway through the tour, it just stopped dead.
Well,
that must have been
realise,
awful.
Alex.
Yeah.
I didn't realise, mate, that it was such that, it had taken that form where you were actually touring it. I mean, apologies, but I just thought it was a character in Phoenix Nights, which I absolutely loved. And I was saying to Mark earlier, like, this is a thing you can go and watch. Like, we've got to go. I can't wait to come and see it.
Oh, please do. Yeah, well, very kindly, Peter Kay wrote it. I mean, it's his creation with Neil Fitzmaurice and David Spikey. So, they very kindly let me do it. They could have said, this is part of the TV show, it's nothing to do with you. But God, I mean, it's a long time ago now. It's 20 years ago. So
is it really? Is it 20 years ago? Yeah. Good God.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable that it's been going for 20 years. That's incredible.
What's unbelievable?
Stood the test of time.
I'm still rigging out the lot.
Mate, Hey, 100% do it, mate. Do it. Well, it's like it must have been tricky then, this lockdown, Alex, for you, because in the arts, it's a year to the day actually that theatres closed down. So it's quite poignant actually. How has this year been? Like, obviously taking away the fact that your tour was cancelled. How have you been holding up?
Well, if you remember when that sort of happened, there was a lot of talk about 3 weeks. Everything's going to shut down for 3 weeks. Here we are, a year real choker. I was really gutted, and I spent a lot of time licking my wounds. I couldn't quite believe, for once, sitting around all these years waiting for people to throw me a few crumbs in my career. Suddenly, I was touring this show, which was selling out, and then it stopped. I mean, and the last thing anyone foresaw was a worldwide pandemic. I thought, I might lose my voice, or there'd be some trouble at home or something. I didn't foresee everything shutting down.
No.
So it was a bit of a choker, but honestly, I have spent the year I've gone into sort of overdrive with working on, like, I do a Clinton internet show, and I've got another series of my podcast coming out. I did another, I've done effectively 2 series of my podcast.
Yeah.
And, voiceovers. I do bits in Fireman Sam.
What character do you play in Fireman Sam? My kids love that.
I know. Yeah, my boys would love that.
I play Joe. Oh dear. That's me.
I've heard his voice at 7 o'clock in the morning many a time, mate. Many a time.
So, and I play Ben, the handsome. I don't know what he does. Does he drive a helicopter or something?
Oh, right. Okay. So it's like when they get you in, they get you to do more than one voice.
Yeah.
Oh, they get you to do a few, mate.
Yeah, Professor Pickles, I play.
Fantastic.
Sounds a bit like Nicholas Parsons. Oh, goodness me, Joe. What are we going to do? Your listenership don't know Nicholas Parsons anyway. He's died now.
I do. So I can't believe, mate. Seriously, brilliant. Alex, I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your backside, but you look great. Like you've been in the industry for how long? I can't believe. Like, don't take this the wrong way. How old you actually are, because
I'm 53.
You do not look 53.
Well, that's mainly because I've never done a day's work in my life. That's why. Bloody hell.
Entertaining hands, mate. Entertaining hands.
I mean, not exactly been hard, is it? Turn up, say a few lines, have a laugh, make a few smutty jokes. It's not rocket science.
Best job in the world, mate. Best job in the world.
I was watching some clips of you on is it Radio X with Chris Moyles?
Oh yeah,
absolutely hilarious. Is that a product of this lockdown? Has that been something you've been going in and doing this more recently?
Well, I mean, I think I did 1 or 2 in the lockdown, but I mean, I never realised that it's sort of broadcast live on the internet.
Yeah,
Well,
I wore all my gear because I thought they might take some photos or something.
Well,
and they're like,
it was more of a watch along, and you can sort of see them there, like the production staff just there, like just trying not to crack up. But I was absolutely cracking up.
You know what these things are like. You're a bit like, oh God, supposing I say something rude,
Well, I must admit, when I watched it, I saw the producer, which was he was sitting to your right, and he was just looking at Chris Moore's going.
I know there is a chance. There is a chance.
But that's brilliant. That's brilliant, though. That's like you're so, like on the line. There is the best way to be. Now, like
so good.
So Wolves. You're a Wolves fan. What would you say your favourite Wolves memory is?
Well, I'm a Wolves fan. I've got to say, by default, I was a big QPR fan. My uncle was like the deputy chairman of QPR growing up.
Yeah.
And I stuck a picture of, when Sylvan Ebanks-Blake scored against Rangers to go up, take them up to the Premiership.
Oh my God, that's such a great night. That was such a great night.
What a man.
There's a great picture of the QPR defender, and I can't remember which one it is, but he's got a bandage around his head. He's bleeding, and it's just a great action shot. And my son, who was like 6 or 7 at the time, I stuck this picture on the fridge, and typical of them, little bugger, being contentious, went for the wrong team deliberately.
That's tremendous.
And he said, "Who's the other team?" And I said, "Wolves." Now, for a 6 or 7-year-old. What? There's a team called Wolves? It sounds so exciting. The badge is a wolf, all that stuff. So we started going to Wolves and very quickly became season ticket holders. But I have to say, my most memorable, because it seems so unpromising. You're not going to say it's the 3-2 where we survived on Survival Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we were there.
Blackburn.
And that, like, I've never celebrated a loss so much in my life.
Scored that goal, did he?
It was a worldie, yeah.
It was a worldie, wasn't it? And because it got to half time, and
we were down,
weren't we? And I just said to Aidan, "Look, do you want to go home?" Because he was tearful and all that. And I just thought, this is just a nightmare. This is not going to get any better. And suddenly, it turned round. But when Hunty scored that long range one, and the funny thing is, when you see him, he can't wait to get up. He doesn't realise that we're sort of up.
Calm down.
Yeah. So I mean, that was so thrilling. And the other thing which was great about that day was my son. I think he was in the Young Wolves. He was going to have his picture taken with some players, and he couldn't make it for some.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so beforehand, he went round the touchline, and Jeff Moxey. What's his name? Moxey. What was his name? Not Jeff Moxey. Jez Moxey.
Jez.
I think it's his daughter was the club photographer.
Oh right, handy.
And she took us round to meet the players, or a couple of them warming up. Yeah. And his favourite was Matt Jarvis.
Oh God, they had a cracking team. We had a
great team. And the Doyler was not playing that day, and he came out and Aidan said, "I wish you were playing," and he said, "So do I." But the tension.
Wasn't it weird? Wasn't it weird though? Like after we'd scored that second goal, Blackburn were winning, so it was weird for their fans because their fans were like kind of celebrating, but we were celebrating more, and it was like kind of this weird 20 minutes where we just did sideways passes. Nobody moved. It was so funny. And then Tottenham beat Birmingham, and
I was just about to say Tottenham scored that. Was it Pavlichenko scored that worldie?
And that was it. Then we stayed up.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great memory. That is.
It was probably my favourite, and I would say the worst was against Watford in the semi-final, mainly because I live in Watford.
My God!
My son goes. He doesn't now, but he used to go to Watford Grammar School for boys.
Oh.
There are various Watford, and he's got an absolute hatred for Watford. And it was like it couldn't have been worse. It was like it was all there, and it was to lose to a team and lose in that way, 2-0 up, and it was honestly, I was just thinking, I'm assuming. Being a season ticket holder, the tickets will be all right for the final. And then with that, who was it? Scored that Delafay? No, who scored the first one? Ruddy.
Delafay.
And from then on, it was like,
well, that was it. You just knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You knew. As soon as it went to extra time, that was it. We'd lost.
We all had our heads down. They were on the up. It was like it was obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I'm not, Ruddy, great, but if you ever seen Troy Deeney take a penalty, he smashes it straight down the middle. I mean, that's what he does every single time. How did John Ruddy not know that?
We could talk about that horrendous day for hours and hours and hours.
Let's not dwell on that day,
because what gets me the most is that we would give City a much better game than what Watford did in the final.
Absolutely. That was terrible.
It was an awful game of football. We're talking about that horrible day, but what about this season, Alex? What are you thinking about the team and where we're going? Obviously, that season was just crazy, getting to the semi-final and coming seventh. But where do you think we need to improve? What do you think we're doing well? It's a different time, isn't it? I think fans' expectations have gone up. Rather, when Stephen Hunt, Kevin Doyle, Sylvan Ebanks, Blake were playing, we were like hanging on by a thread. Let's be honest. But with this squad of players, it's a bit different now, isn't it?
I think there was always gonna. Well, I don't know. I mean, my son Aiden, he's really down on it at the moment. He's a bit down on Nuno. He thinks, we've had a budget. We bought a couple of players, very expensive players who aren't performing.
Yeah.
I see it as a transition. Season. He's a bit like, no transition. How come, we want to be building, not how are we going backwards? I think
it's a good point. It's a good point.
So that, I mean, I personally, what do I know? Jota, I didn't want to see him go. I didn't really want to see Cavallero go. Great on the bench to come on and take people on.
It's not a bad shout, actually.
He went, and we only had Jimenez, who, and this is a very unpopular thing to say, could sometimes blow a bit hot and cold. And there's a lot of talk about, without Jimenez,
mate, he's not the second coming, is he? He's not the second. The thing is, like we all say, and we do miss him. There's no question about it. Traore misses him more than anyone. But the issue it was not just Jimenez being out the team. We weren't exactly, prolific before he got injured. I think we scored 12 goals in 10 games, and then he got injured.
He wasn't firing on all cylinders.
No, he wasn't. But he gets into those positions that
when we play
forwards,
well, he makes us a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. Well, 100% from zero is pretty. It's a pretty big step up. What are your thoughts on Silva and Jose? Who do you prefer, or if any?
Well, I was very disappointed with Silva. That one which came off his shoulder last night, Oh, God, you've got to put that away. That was right in front of the bloody goal.
I think I was dreaming about that chance last night.
When I saw the replay, at the time I thought, okay, it's a weak header. That's a shame he's mistimed it. He didn't actually hit the ball. It bounced off his shoulder.
Came off it there, didn't it?
Whether he was frightened of being flattened by the central defender, I don't know. But there were a couple of them waiting there to put it in.
Yeah,
that I feel really sorry for the guy because, and thank God he doesn't have to be at Molineux, because I think people might have been on his back by now.
It would have been over for him. Over for him, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope. He always looks keen, and I mean, he always looks a little bit frightened, to be honest. But it's not his fault. He had that price tag. He's doing his best. He's been thrown in 18. When you get to my age, you realise how young 18 is. It's really young, and not easy for him. I just feel a bit sorry for him because I just hope he's not reading the socials because I think.
Oh, he won't be.
I know.
He'd do well to stay away from that.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I just don't know, really. I sort of like his. I mean, he had a fantastic touch last night that sent through Traore, was it? What was that?
Oh, it's when he set up Gibbs White, and then.
That's it. And it went through someone's legs. He just tucked it through someone's legs with a lovely little flick.
It's a shame it wasn't Traore on it because he might have actually had a chance to do something half decent if he'd have ran onto that instead of.
But I mean,
maybe let's not go there. Let's not go there.
State the obvious about Traore. I mean, you were going to say that. I mean, why is it he does all this beating people and then sometimes he just can't put the end of it? No understanding with other people.
It's so frustrating to watch,
maybe,
isn't it?
To
Really
answer your question, I know I've gone on a bit, but it's to be honest, I've kind of had enough of this season now and not being able to go. I mean, I will be in tears when we go back. I just cannot wait. It will be so emotional.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of the greatest things in my life to go to Molineux. I absolutely love it. And, bless QPR. I've got a real soft spot for them. But Loftus Road is no Molineux.
No, you're right.
It's
absolutely
not the same thing. And you're also, there's something really special about going with your son who, he picked that team 10 years ago. And I like to think I've made friends with you fellas. I've got
absolutely
West Midlands now.
That's so nice because it is usually the other way around, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. It's usually the other way around. Like the father dictates to the son, but actually he's played a blinder, mate. You've come to the right side.
Absolutely. I mean, I am a bit of a sucker for any big drama. It's a big dramatic place. It's a fact that the Wolves fans are louder than any other, and they've done the decibel test, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's a big dramatic day out. And I absolutely love it. And we've had, it's a bit of a pain going all the way up there and then all the way back. We don't get back till late. But I wouldn't swap it for the world. I cannot wait to get back there. My fear is that somehow the season ticket has now run out and I've missed some kind of, you know what I mean? There's been some deadline that somehow I've missed and it's gone forever.
The COVID deadline. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the best player you've ever seen at Molineux, would you say?
That is a really good question. Well, I think Pedro Neto probably has the potential.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Nice.
I think so. And then the one I really love is Podence. I mean, he it's such a shame he's injured. The guy's sensational.
Thank you, Alex. You are correct.
Yeah, good. I've been correct twice. I'm often accused of not knowing anything. So, good. Yeah, I'd like to see him.
100% agree with you. 100%.
That's cheered you up, hasn't it, Mark?
Oh, it really has. I love Podence so much. I've got to say, Alex, it's been wonderful having you on and chatting all things Wolves and about your brilliant career. But we couldn't let you go without doing a little bit of Clinton Baptiste.
Right. Well, I'm here and spirit very, very strong tonight. And hey, pack it in, you. Stand back. Can you stand 2 meters back, please? Stick a bleeding mask on. Just as they're dead. Jesus. Anyway, listen, this is Clinton Baptiste saying, please come to see my tour. It's called Stratospheric. It's all over the country. It will be near the Wolves at some point. I'm getting the word income. So buy a bloody ticket, please.
Well, there's 2 sold here, definitely.
100%.
Right, please come.
Alex, it's been an absolute joy to speak to you, mate. And thank you ever so much. And keep doing what you're doing. And we can't wait to watch it. We'll put the link. You're selling tickets, I presume, now.
Yes.
So, we'll put the link. We'll put the link in.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Great speaking to you, fellas. And hopefully we can meet up when we come up there again.
100%. That would be wonderful, mate. All right. You take care, Alex. You've been watching Wandering Wolf.